learn about some more Latin pronouns today. And like Latin students everywhere, you're going to have to memorize these charts. So pull your chart out, page 46 in your chart book. That's where the demonstrative pronouns and adjectives start. You will need that. You will also need your chart books, your student notes for chapter 20 to have those downloaded and printed, because that's what we're going to go over today. And then fill these in at your convenience. You can either do it while we're talking or you can do it afterwards. But know that you need to have them memorized, and you're going to need to figure out the best way to do that for you. But I can give you a hint. I think it's easier when you memorize them to go straight across. So you go heek, hike, hoke, huyus, huyus, huik, 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 hook, honk, hoke, hoke, hock, hawk, hoke, instead of heek, huyus, heek, hunk, hoke. It's much harder to say that way. Go straight across. I think that's easier. Some of the endings will be familiar to you, so that should help you as well. Okay, let's start with demonstrative pronouns. So demonstratives, that word comes from the Latin verb demonstrare, which means to point out. A lot of our English grammar terms come straight from Latin words, and they generally place special emphasis on or point out a certain person or object, which makes total sense with the Latin word that they come from. So they can either be an adjective modifying a noun, or they may act as a pronoun. And if you remember, pronouns take the place of nouns, so they can totally replace the noun they're describing. So when demonstratives function as adjectives, they normally come before the nouns they modify. So that's a good hint. Latin doesn't do a lot of word order, but so whatever they give you, use it as hints. So when a demonstrative isn't followed by a noun, meaning the demonstrative is alone, the demonstrative functions as a pronoun, and they can be commonly translated as this man or woman, right? That woman, of course, that man, or these things. You could also say these men or women, right? And the like, according to their gender, number, case, and the context. Now, if you remember, there's often words that are implied, and this whole man, woman, things, you'll often see it as implied. So if it doesn't make sense to you with just this or that, try putting a man, whatever's appropriate in there, man, woman, these things, in the context, and see if that makes sense. So because they act as adjectives or pronouns, they must agree in gender, case, and number with the nouns that they are pointing out. So in the last chapter, you learned that iste, id as a personal pronoun is translated as he, she, or it. It can also be a demonstrative pronoun, meaning that or those. Remember, pointing something out. So same thing here, that or those. All right, let's take a look at heek, hike, hoke. So this pronoun heek means this in the singular and these in the plural, and usually refers to something or someone near the speaker, as if you're gesturing to something near. So here's your chart. You can see how it's laid out. I colored them in just to make it a little easier for you. So let's see how this works. Hoc colorem opto. So opto means I choose. I choose. So hoc, right? I choose. It's neuter and it's accusative. I choose this color. So the bolded part here, hoc colorem, becomes this color. Okay. Has expectatis. So expectatis is second person plural, so it has to be y'all. There can't be a separate nominative. Y'all wait for who? It's has. Look at this. Has right here. Y'all wait for these. Now, it makes more sense if we put, because we see it's feminine, if we put these women. It can't be these things because it's feminine, and they always have gender. Y'all wait for these women, and again, has becomes these women. It's actually pretty simple once you break it down. All right, let's look at the next one. Ille, illud. The pronoun ille means that in the singular or those in the plural. So instead of being this and these, it's that and those. Because it's that, this implies close by. That refers to someone or someone at a distance from the speaker. We use it the same way in English, so it's not that complicated. When you're saying that over there, you don't say this thing over there, you say that thing over there. So it works the same way in English. So a form of ille can also be used to show what is nearer or farther in the sentence. Like when we use the words former or latter, the former thing or the latter thing, ille can be translated as that one when paired with a form of haec, this one. So you could have two of these pronouns here put together. So if I said that one, ille, is the champion, not this one, haec. So two things together. So when ille comes after the noun, it is translated as that famous person. Keep that one in mind. You're not going to see it very often, but you will see it when it comes after the noun. Because remember, they usually come before. Demonstrative pronouns usually come before the noun. When it comes after the noun, it means that famous person or thing. So here's your chart. You can fill it in now or fill it in later. Let's take a look at a couple of these sentences. Okay. Vidistine illos montes. So here we have the pronoun, and there we have the word it goes with. So, vidistine, did you see? Remember, this can be translated as that or those. And we've got illos. So here we go. It's accusative, and so is montes. Remember, they have to match, and they're both in the accusative form. Did you see those mountains? Okay. Next one, illam sororem. And we see that illam, if you want to take a look, the one it can be is accusative up here. So we know that, and we know that sororem is in the accusative. They have to match. Remember, gender, case, and number. So, adamabit. He will fall in love with that sister. He will and fall in love with, there's your verb, with that sister. Right? It's the victim of being fallen in love with, so it's the accusative. Same here. Did you see those mountains? It's the accusative. Okay? Last one. Scriba ille est mortuus. Right? This is actually in the nominative. So if you take a look here, ille and scriba. So remember, scribe is in the first declension, but it's also masculine. That's why we have a masculine, because it has to match in gender, case, and number. So here we have nominative. Remember, it's masculine. So even that's why the endings don't match here. Scriba ille est mortuus. Okay. And here it comes after the noun. And do you remember what it means if it comes after that noun? It has a famous in it. So we've got that famous scribe est mortuus, is dead. Again, we've got the masculine here, right here. Okay. Let's take a look at iste, ista, istud. So the pronoun iste means that in the singular and those in the plural. and usually refers to someone near the speaker. Iste has a derogatory meaning. So sometimes the words of yours are implied and appropriate to add. So who would want to eat that apple of yours? So when you say it, you have to say it like you intend it to be a derogatory question or statement to someone. So iste, hostes nos vincere numquam poterunt. Iste. So here we have iste. Iste. So where are we going to find it? Right here. And hostes. So that means, that tells us that they're both nominative. Those enemies will never, numquam, will never be able to, poterunt, vincere, to conquer, nos, you just learned that last week, didn't you? Us. So it's said in a derogatory. Those enemies will never be able to conquer us, right? Those enemies, right? That same. So istum amici, so here we go. Isti hostes, those enemies, they both are the nominative. Let's take a look at the last one. Istum amici effugibamus. So istum, look at it, istum. Istum is right here. It's in the accusative. This should actually be amicum. I'll change that on your notes for you. So it is accusative. So accusative effugibamos. We were escaping that friend of yours. Remember I told you sometimes we put that in, that friend of yours. We were escaping that friend of yours. Clearly I do not like, or we do not like that friend of yours. And so it's said in a derogatory manner. All right, we got one more to go. The next video will be on intensive pronouns, but here is the end of demonstrative pronouns.